Hello everyone and welcome to Spitfire Debates. My name is Bobby Keough and that's my partner in crime, Andy Deossa. Today we're going to be talking about the biggest sporting event of the year, the Super Bowl. We're not only going to talk about the game in which the Packers won, but we're going to be talking about the famous commercials, which are usually hilarious, and as well as the halftime show, which was universally panned this year. And then we're going to get into why the game is so important, what makes so many Americans like to watch it every year. So Andy, let's get into it. All right, first off, let's talk about the game itself, where the Packers squeaked by 31-25 and ended up taking the Lombardi Trophy back to Green Bay. Now, Andy, how did the Packers win this game? Was it a Steeler meltdown? Was it a Packer win? What happened?
Well, I think the overall concept of the game was that the Packers just played better defense. The Steelers' defense coming into the game was supposedly the big story, but with Marquise Pouncey, the Steelers center, out of the game, it allowed the Packers defense to get a lot of rush, and they threw a lot of blitz packages at Ben Roethlisberger, which you saw kind of affected him when he threw the interception that was returned for a touchdown.
It was a great game in the beginning because the Packers just jumped on him. You know, it seemed like in the first half they just kept scoring. The defense, the great defense of the Steelers, was just taking over. I think the touchdown at the end of the second quarter, that Roethlisberger, was a great motivator going into halftime, because when they came out, the Steelers were firing on all cylinders. But I feel like part of it was that the Packers were giving it away, though. They just didn't. The offense didn't seem to be doing what it could be. You know.
I feel the thing with the Steelers is you have to get out to an early lead against them, because they're a second half team, and we saw it against the Ravens. They could be down in the first half, but when it comes to second half, they always play harder. So that was the key for Green Bay, to get out to an early lead. And once they did that, I feel like they did kind of slow down, but at the same time, they already had a big enough lead to keep it going. So that's.
And the big story of the game is, Rodgers winning, finally getting out from under Brett Favre's shadow. I mean, Favre has kind of put himself out of Green Bay's mind, himself with his antics. But I mean, it's great to see Rodgers get the win, and also Roethlisberger, the villain of the Super Bowl. I mean, you talk about guys like Tom Brady being the villain just because they have the hot supermodel girlfriend, but I mean, Roethlisberger off the field antics can't be ignored.
No, I agree. I think Rodgers overall deserved it. He played a great season, going through a lot of injuries with the team, going through a lot of injuries within himself, and I think he earned it.
So, I mean, it was a great game. You know what? Good for the Packers. It was a good win. It was a great game, too.
Agreed. All right, now let's move on to the halftime show, which this year featured the Black Eyed Peas. The overall feel for the show was that it wasn't that great, which was actually enhanced by a Sports Nation poll in which every state in the U.S. voted it an F. Bobby, do you think the show was really that bad?
It wasn't great. I wouldn't call it an F. I mean, there was some good and bad parts to it. Okay, good. Theatricality. The lights were amazing. They did a great job with the dancers. It wasn't just like a bunch of groupies running up to Bruce Springsteen and jumping around. There was actual coordination with it. The glow sticks in the audience. It was great. Will.i.am sounded fine. Stuff like that. But the robot auto-tuning of the mics, I didn't like it. I didn't like that futuristic feel of it. The costumes weren't that great. I mean, it was kind of like Tron. They were putting Tron out there. Fergie didn't sound great, honestly.
I agree overall. I think bringing the Black Eyed Peas was a pretty good idea, because it's somebody that appeals to different audiences, but the whole futuristic thing didn't sit well with me. I did like the setup of the stage with all the lights and everything they had going on there, but overall, I don't think it was that great. I don't think it really caught a lot of people's attention this year.
It was great. Here's what I liked what they did right. They brought in other artists.
Yes.
It seems like the Super Bowl is always that one band or that one group's moment to shine, and they never bring anybody else in. It's always just them. It was great to see Usher come in there. Definitely. Once they started singing OMG, oh my God. And it was great when Slash came out too. It was random, but it was great. I mean, Fergie kind of butchered Sweet Child of Mine, but what are you going to do? I mean, it was great that they had the idea, and I hope for future iterations that they actually bring in other acts. It should be a celebration of music in a way, not just some band's
not just
moment
one
to shine.
person. Yeah, I feel like after the whole Janet Jackson situation, the show kind of slowed down a little bit. But I mean, it wasn't terrible, but I wouldn't rate it an F, but it wasn't great. I'd probably give it a C, if anything.
Well, what'll be interesting to see is where they go from this. Will they go back to the classic rock old bands? Will they go on with the current more pop R&B style? I mean, only time will tell if there's even a season next year.
There's even a Super Bowl next year.
All right, so let's move on to the famous Super Bowl commercials. Usually this is the part of the game where most people who aren't sports fans just love the game anyways, because there's always these hilarious random car commercials or beer commercials. But to be honest, it seemed like this year wasn't that great. And in the past years, it's been a declining time of commercials. Andy, do you think that overall it's been a declining time for commercials in the Super Bowl?
I agree. I think when we used to watch the Patriots a few years back, and obviously it was a better time for us, but those Super Bowls, the commercials had the sense that you would laugh at everyone that came on. And throughout the years, they kind of slowed down. There's a few funny ones, and then there's a few a few okay ones, and then the rest of them are just bad. And I think that's what the trend has been for the past couple of years.
I feel like it's Doritos has like saved things the past few years. I mean, you never really saw Doritos in the Super Bowl that much, you know. And then now that they've got their own commercials, I mean, they got the hilarious guy, you know, licking the guy's fingers and smelling his pants. You know, you have like him spreading ashes on the grandpa, bringing the grandfather back to life. I mean, not all the commercials had to be hilarious. Some of them were great, like the NFL one, the one with the Fonz, you know, with his Packers jersey. They did a lot of editing with stuff. It was great. Even the Darth Vader one for Volkswagen.
That was pretty funny.
That one was really good. You know, it was cute. You don't have to laugh a lot at every commercial. It's just the creativity. But
I don't think and that's the thing. The whole sense is that there wasn't really unique commercials. There was some that made you laugh, like the one I spoke about with the monkeys, with the career builder, and that they crashed into the car. It wasn't very creative, but it was funny just at the fact that it was actually monkeys. But the whole overall sense of the commercials, I don't think it was great this year.
It just seems like I don't laugh as loud anymore. I mean, maybe it's because my Patriots aren't in the Super Bowl, you know. But maybe that's the psychological thing of it. But I mean, I just feel like as time goes on, they get less creative, and it's more about shelling out for the product, you know. And you just see the product placement for what it is. Yeah,
we got to give it up to Doritos and Bud Light. They've been saving it for the past couple of years.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, you got some good lights in the darkness, you know.
Definitely. So. Okay, finally, let's talk about what makes the Super Bowl the important event that it is. Every year, it always manages to attract millions of viewers and high interest. Bobby, what makes the Super Bowl so much more important and higher rated than the finals games in other sports?
Well, if I had to pick one easy reason, it would be that it's one game. It's just, there's no 7-game series. There's no 3-game series. There's no, tomorrow night they'll be playing again. It's okay. It's that one chance for your team, you know, like, and your heart's probably beating more during that game than any other sport, you know.
Definitely.
Maybe like a Game 7. I mean, I feel like Game 7s are like the only thing you can compare to, like in a hockey series or baseball series, or in the NBA, because just the one game really makes it so that my interest is this high the whole entire game, especially when the Patriots are in it, you know. Definitely. But also, I mean, the popularity of the NFL right now, it's through the roof. That it's the best sport in this country in terms of most people's viewpoints.
I agree.
So, I mean, also, I mean, if I had to say something else, it would be that it's not just a sporting event. There's commercials there for those people that don't like sports but like to laugh. There's the halftime show for those music fans. You're going to have people like in the Grammys watching the game just to see who their favorite stars are dressing like and stuff. So
yeah, the whole event the event as a whole, the Super Bowl, it attracts a lot of viewers just because they do have the halftime show. They have the important commercials, the funny commercials, and people kind of want to see that. They might not watch for the game, but they might want to watch for those particular things. Another important thing is that the NFL is one of the shortest seasons, so it comes and goes very quickly. And watching your team play once a week, it kind of makes you appreciate the playoffs and makes you appreciate more the Super Bowl instead of watching a 82-game season or a 160-game season and then watching a 7-game series to end the season. This is one time you have the shot, you win it, and you're the championship, and you lose it, and that's it.
The parity, too. The parity, I mean, nobody expects most of the teams to be there. I mean, the Arizona Cardinals a few years ago, nobody expected them.
Exactly.
The Patriots back in the day, nobody expected them.
Even the Saints last year.
Even the Saints last year, nobody expected it. And, you know, I'm calling it now that my Chiefs are going to be in the Super Bowl next year.
I'm calling the Panthers.
So there you go. I mean, you called the Packers last year, yes. So I totally believe that maybe I should put some money on the Panthers.
On the Bengals, man.
The Bengals, yeah. Chad Johnson now, not Ocho Cinco. All right, that's all for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out www.thesuffolkvoice.net for more online content and articles. I'm Bobby Keough. That's Andy Deossa. So thanks for watching. See you next time.